Oh my goodness. Welcome, everybody. You are hanging out with your pal Hal. We are here on the back channel. It is 11 a.m. on the West Coast, and just a couple minutes after, and it is 2 p.m. 2:04. It looks like right now on the East Coast. I'll be with you for 2 hours. You'll be hanging out with your pal Hal, and please, won't you consider yourself my pal and participate in what is happening right here on the back channel? We've got good times, and whether you want to just focus on us and just like be right here, I got you right here, or just have us on in the background, whatever you're doing. Are you working? Are you taking care of the kids? Are you in the garden and you've got like a speaker out there? And oh, that would be just a lovely setup. Maybe you're in the garden tending to a beautiful pumpkin or gourd in this fall season. Shout out to the underrated gourd in it. Are all pumpkins gourds? Maybe we'll get into that later. Whatever it is you're doing, whether you're working, whether you're relaxing, or whether you're just like, you know what? I'm hungover. It was a crazy weekend, and I'm still recovering. Hey, your pal Hal is here with you. No judgment-free zone, and I want to hear from you. Okay, so when you're with us right here on the back channel, we're going to talk about some trending topics. We're going to do a little bit of comedy. We are going to do some trivia. I would love for you to participate, and the show is fueled by your participation. So get your device's attention. Say device. I'm not going to actually say the name of your device because I was told that could summon a demon, or just shut off all the power in your house if your device is hooked up to it, or do something crazy. So you get your device's attention, then use the magic word say, and then insert your statement there. So device, say, I had a heck of a weekend. Happy Monday, Hal. Or say, I'm like Garfield. No, no Mondays for me. I hate Mondays, but I love lasagna. Or say, Hal, you're a sight for sore eyes. Whatever you like, I'm here with you. Whether you're a Garfield or you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed on this Monday late morning here in Los Angeles, California, where I'm coming to you from, and the afternoon on the East Coast, and it is different times depending upon your time zone. Welcome to your pal Hal. I am Hal Rudnick, aka your pal Hal, and you can also participate in the chat by going to backchannel.tv. Backchannel.tv. Put that in your URL and put that in the search bar, and yeah, game on for chatting. Who's out there? Tell me what you were up to this weekend. Tell us how your Monday is going. Will join the stream. I see we got a few folks here, and we got Blake in Arizona, Will in Nebraska. We got Billy in Wisconsin. Great to see you hanging out. Did you have a good weekend? What'd you get up to this weekend? And additionally, hanging out with us, we've got our trusty producer, Travis. Travis, are you here? What's going on, Travis?
It's a beautiful day. Not quite as warm as it was in Los Angeles. Things like we're
Mm-hmm.
inching back towards fall after a quick veer into second summer. And, I'm sleepy, but I'm not quite a Garfield. I'm just happy to be here.
Good, good. Glad to hear it. Yeah. Listen, uh, I can't blame you if you are a Garfield. And listen, I would love to be eating a nice plate of lasagna right now. Uh, I and I agree with Garfield on so many things. Odie, annoying. Garfield's owner, John. Is
Hmm.
that his name? Yeah.
Yeah, John.
I always conflate John and Jim Davis, the writer of Garfield. I'm like,
Right.
Garfield's owner, Jim Davis. No, that's the writer. Do you ever see that cartoon that they did, Garfield without Garfield?
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty
Yes.
funny. It makes John, Garfield's owner, look like a crazy person because he's getting frustrated and angry, and there's no one around him. Someone went and erased Garfield. Can you punch in? Can you pop up?
Oh yeah.
I'm throwing stuff at you right out of the gate here, Travis. And Travis, and you might want to change your Chiron says producer Carla, who is the delightful
Whoopsies.
producer of the last show here on the back channel, with the wonderful, talented, very bright and worldly Anthony Davis. You know, the guy just sounds good. He's got that British accent. Everything is gravy from there. So shout out to Anthony Davis, who precedes us. So yeah, Garfield without Garfield. Let's pop in on one of these here so we could just like read what's happening. I just want to see. Yeah, there we go. I want to see that one. Thank you. Why so gloomy, buddy? You have a lot to be grateful for. And then just, yeah, John just looking maniacal.
It's a portrait of a sad, lonely man who thinks he has a cat that he doesn't.
Or I think we stumbled on like a breaking exclusive here, Travis. Is Garfield without Garfield just grown up Calvin and Hobbes? Because Calvin, the kid, he's got this inner life going with Hobbes. And if he grew up, it's cute when you're a kid. Oh, it is just delightful when you're a kid. Also, Travis, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What the hell happened to Calvin? Calvin and Hobbes was this delightful cartoon from our childhood. I'd read it in the paper. I think that like I probably had a Calvin and Hobbes book when I was a kid. I liked the Sunday funnies. But now Calvin has grown up to go pee-pee on bumper stickers. Have you seen these stickers? Why has Calvin become the urinating poster boy for nonsense?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the origin. That's actually, you know what? I'm gonna get on that. But yeah, I've been to a flea market in my day, so I've seen my fair share of Calvin peeing on things.
Oh yeah, no, I've just driven in traffic and I've seen Calvin, like they'll have Calvin peeing on like Toyota if you hate Toyota, or Calvin pees on Honda if you like. Calvin will pee whatever you want him to pee on. Also, if you are a religious person, shout out to religious folks out there, but Calvin will also genuflect. Calvin will take a knee and show respect to your particular religious symbol.
He's a people pleaser, really.
He's a people pleaser. He's a PPPer, and Calvin taking on a whole new life. So, how was your weekend out there, everybody? What did you get up to this weekend? Did you do anything fun? Did you go out and party? Did you watch any movies? Talk to us. We would love to communicate with you. Again, tell us what you've been up to by using the magic word "say." Address your device and use the word "say," and then tell us how I took Travis's advice and I went to the multiplex and basically walked into like 5 different movies over the course of the weekend. Travis told us about one of his movie-going escapades from years ago, which sounded super cool. He went to see one movie and then strategically throughout the day went to see 5 movies. I don't know. I hope the statute of limitations is up on that, Travis. Otherwise, the lawyers for AMC theaters may be contacting you.
Can I share another quick story about something almost similar that happened over the weekend?
Oh, hell yeah.
So
What's up,
I went
producer
to
Travis?
see The French Dispatch over the weekend.
New Wes Anderson film. I haven't seen it yet. Star-studded cast. You got Golden Boy Timothy Chalamet. You have the great Jeffrey Wright. You have Adrian Brody, Tilda Swinton. You know, Wes Anderson has his cast of characters, his players, and it looks like some delightful, funny, little bit twee. I mean, if anyone is on the twee tip out there, just too cute by a skosh, but little hipstery, but that's what you expect. That's what you go to Wes Anderson for at this point. So French Dispatch in theaters now. Travis, talk to us.
So it was just a single movie, and I decided to go see this film at the Alamo Drafthouse, which I hadn't seen a movie there that wasn't a part of like a party, like private theater rental thing, which you can do there.
Gotcha.
So I
So,
wasn't
and for
aware.
those listening, Alamo Draft House, it's like kind of this luxurious movie theater. We have comfy seats. You can order food, and started out in I guess Austin, Texas, and
I think so.
yeah, there's one in downtown LA now. Cool.
Yeah, all over the nation. I wasn't aware of how strict some of their policies were in terms of their movie going etiquette. I mean, they're very
Okay.
hard on the no talking, the no texting, which that's sure. They even play like a public service announcement before the film saying, if this happens, we're gonna kick you out and you can't come back. Like straight up.
Whoa.
One
Like
of them,
lifetime ban.
yes, and one of them, not the one I saw, but apparently before the movie, another version of this PSA is them playing a voicemail recording of somebody calling the theater to complain about being kicked out for talking, and them just being like, "Yeah, it's gonna happen." So I
Wow.
didn't do that. Luckily, I didn't lose my theater privileges, but I, there's previews, and so I'm used to the AMC calendar of, the first 25 minutes are going to be things that are not to do with the movie. So I rolled in with the person I went to go see the movie with at for a
Right.
12:15 movie at like 12, 20, and the guy at the front was
Sure.
like,
Oh.
we can't, you cannot go in, we cannot let you
Oh.
in.
Wait. What the what now?
Yeah, if you are
But
late, they won't seat you.
even if you're just like interrupting previews?
100%.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Not like that's a little much. That's a
it was
little
a little much.
draconian.
I agree.
Um, you need to be able to be seated during the previews.
I think that's pretty fair.
So
And
did you just leave? Did like you're like, okay, uh I'm out of luck here.
lucky for me and the person I saw the movie with, there was another
Yes.
showing 45 minutes later. It was just happened to be there was a short little gap. So we said, "All right, we'll fart around this downtown mall for a second and then go see the next showing." Um and everything was all
So were
well and
you out
good.
the price of your first ticket?
No, they luckily they were able to, they were fine with just pushing the ticket over. Though we did see the first one at the matinee hour ends at 1 and the next showing was at 1, and because the showing was at 1, we were upcharged to the non-matinee price, and I was like, "Okay, that's okay.
All
Okay."
right. All right.
At the end of the day, this was my mistake.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
we get back to the theater, and this isn't the main point, but there was this pigeon that looked like it was going insane up above. It was just kind of screaming and pooping everywhere. Turns out it was
Right.
just an adolescent pigeon, and that's what they do.
Yes.
And so when we came back around, that happened, which was weird. And then there was this thing of like trying to get past the front, and we're like, we already, we have the whatever. We got to our seats, and then probably 25 minutes into the movie, the fire alarm goes off.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And what's really funny is for the first maybe 10, 15 seconds, nobody does anything. And then I just take it upon myself to go, "Oh, fire alarm." Just kind of from the back of the theater. "Ah, that's the fire alarm. I think I'll leave because of the fire alarm."
You were doing a public service. So
Trying.
here's the thing. Don't scream fire in a crowded movie theater.
Right.
But if a fire alarm is going off, say announce fire alarm.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
not a bad idea.
I I think it was just sort of the Wes Anderson mood of it all. It felt
Yes.
very everybody's sitting there complacent as the fire alarm is going, and then after a while, just well, I guess I'm gonna get up and go. Um, and they announced over the loudspeaker, "We think this is a false alarm. Don't go far." And it was just like, what?
Wow. 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 Wow.
So
Wow.
the whole
So
thing took about 20. Sorry, yes,
yeah,
the
go ahead.
the whole thing took about maybe 20 odd minutes to get everything seated. It was it happened in the entire shopping mall. It was a false alarm. That gave us plenty of time to go back out and feed our meter. And the big takeaway was for me, because of sort of the I won't say hostile, but definitely strict experience up to that point. It felt like if I went to somebody's party that I didn't know anybody at, and there were like a lot of rules and stuff, and I had to, someone's like, you got to be on kind of your best behavior, and then their toilet got clogged.
Oh boy.
I'm just like, ha, ha.
Oh, so that's
So
on you.
yeah, exactly. Like this is some party, ha.
Right.
And they
Like if it
gave
was
us all.
so if it was like one of those eyes wide shut like sex parties and it's like you got all the rules, you got to wear a mask, you got to say the password, and then all of a sudden like yeah, that toilet ain't flushing.
Yeah,
Oh, you picked the wrong mansion to have your big eyes wide shut party in.
exactly. And
Uh,
on the way out,
I got to interrupt you for 1 second,
oh
Travis. I got
yeah,
to give a shout out to we have a special viewer right now, Deborah Rudnick. Shout out to in the chat. Shout out to my mommy. My mommy is hanging out here on the back channel. Mom, I love you. I'm afraid to say it. Proud to. And also we got Will in there. Will, what is up? And plenty of listeners and viewers. Again, if you want to communicate with us, just go to backchannel.tv and you can let your fingers do the walking right there. Click clackety, send us a message, or you can address your device with the word, just get your device's attention, the word say, and then you can say, Travis, glad you got to see the movie. What else happened? Did you get to see the end of it? Travis, how was the movie, etc. Travis, please continue. So, what ended up happening there?
movie finished, and as we were walking out, they handed us all coupons for a free movie.
Yes, just like your other story,
Yeah,
you came out ahead in the deal,
yeah.
correct?
I'd
Wow.
say I probably broke even this time, but I'll still take it. I'll take it.
Oh yeah, because the difference between the
It
first
ended up
ticket,
making the whole experience a 4.5 hour movie, all encompassing.
time is money.
Time is
Time
money.
is money, Travis Reeves.
Time is money.
Uh, Thank you. Well, and how was? Did you enjoy the French Dispatch?
I did. I wish I had known more about it going in terms of the
Hmm.
format. So I would recommend people to give it at least a quick glimpse if you're curious, or if you're on the fence about it, give it a look and see if it's for you. Um,
Well, here's the
it is
thing. I think you're going to go if you're a Wes Anderson fan. I mean, if you don't
yes.
know, like, you know, if yeah, don't go into a Wes Anderson movie blind per se.
Hmm.
But yeah, you know what you're getting into. You know it's going to be too adorable. There's going to be frames that look like photographs or just look like miniature houses. You know that you're going to get just actors chewing the scenery and just a wild caper. Yeah, Wes Anderson has a signature style.
And this film is him really cranking the knob to 11 and turning it up and just tearing the knob off on that. And I'm happy that he's at a point in his career that he can do that. I would say that this does not top my list of Wes Anderson films, but I did enjoy it, and I think it's worth watching if you are into the idea of finding out just how much Wes Anderson likes French cinema, because
Oh,
it's a
oui,
lot.
c'est très bien.
Yes.
Uh, there you go. The French Dispatch
French
in
Dispatch.
limited release
Yeah,
right
no press for
now.
this movie, really.
I mean, yeah, Wes Anderson, like they don't. He, what was his biggest film? I mean, his early films, I feel like were a little bit more all encompassing. Like they would attract more people. Now he's become
Hmm.
just a little bit more niche or
Yeah.
niche each time
Hmm.
out. But Rushmore and the Royal Tenenbaums, I felt like were bigger films just as far as bringing in bigger audiences.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoy me some Wes Anderson. He can be an acquired taste, though, as Travis is saying. I went to a wedding this weekend,
Oh,
and
that's right.
I had a good time at the wedding. There was drinks and dancing, and yeah. I mean, I'm not a some sicko. I enjoy drinks and dancing as much as the next guy. Okay, uh, listen, don't threaten me with a good time. I'll take it. The food was good. I thought the ceremony might have been a little bit long, and it was very hot out. It was outdoors. It was 90 degrees. So, and there was like a bug flying in my face, and I found that a little bit annoying. But otherwise, very enjoyable ceremony. Listen, I love love. And so, yeah, please invite your pal Hal to your nuptials, to your wedding. I will show up. I will put on a suit and bring you a gift from your gift registry. That is my your pal Hal wedding promise. Please invite me to your wedding. What did you get up to this weekend? You can let us know and tell us in the chat. Did you go to the movies? Did you get something done around the house? Did you get active? Did you go on a hike? Did you climb to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro? We want to know. And again, address your device, use the word say, and put some information in there. So, device, say, I swam across Lake Titicaca. I climbed to the top of the Grand Tetons. I I went to the Bat Cave in in Austin, where all the bats live. So, what is it? Let us know what you got up to this weekend. We want to know. Hey, Travis, I think it's time to go ahead and check Twitter and talk about some trending topics. Let's jump into some trending topics today. What is happening on in the Twitter sphere? What's going on in the Twitter sphere? Okay, so one thing I noticed earlier, Travis, was that there was an image, a poster for the new upcoming Marvel film Spider-Man No Way Home, highly anticipated. And so what they're saying is this film is going to take Spider-Man into the sort of into the Spider-Verse. So it's a little bit of the vibe of the animated Miles Morales Spider-Man, where yeah, we did go Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse because there are multiple universes going to be at play here with uh with Doctor Strange and the MCU, all of those universes there that were in sort of the multiverse. And the next Doctor Strange movie is going to be the Multiverse of Madness. We're all about the nano technology and the particles in the multiverse. No one told me there was going to be science on this test, but yes. And on the poster, people are geeking out a little bit because of a sighting of the Green Goblin. So the Green Goblin, I guess, played by Willem Dafoe back in the day, back in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. And then you also had um uh um yes, there we go. And you also had James Franco playing like son of Green Goblin. Yeah, there it is. So if you see right, as you're looking at it to the right of Doctor Strange's head, there's a little, uh-oh, what is that? It's that the Green Goblin on his flying sled. It looks like none other than, and of course, you see the tentacles of Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, one of the great villains. Alfred Molina. Alex, what up? Good to see you back here in the chat. Welcome to the party, Alex. Again, are you excited for Spider Man No Way Home? And are you geeked up about seeing Tobey Maguire and all the other Spider-Men, the villains? Will Thomas Hayden Church's Sandman be in there? Deep cut, huh? Because we know Jamie Foxx's Electro is coming back. So bring back Toby. Yes, Will. Toby is going to be in it. It has been confirmed. I think it was confirmed due to a leak. Okay, somebody is leaking. Yeah, Toby. Love me some Toby Maguire. That's my favorite Spider-Man. Toby Maguire's Spider-Man in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies. I mean, the like super badass. Okay, what are we looking at? So here we got Look at our first look at Green Goblin concept. Oh, cool. Uh, very nice, Travis, bringing up some pertinent imagery from the costume closet. Uh, oh boy, look at this. So new leak. We just have our first look at the Green Goblin suit and the concept art. Tom and Andrew and Toby suits are hanging at. Very cool. All right, so it really looks like game on. It looks like game on for just all our old friends coming back in Spider-Man No Way Home. Uh, what is oh, and there's a trailer is going to drop tomorrow. Maybe we'll take a look at that and give you some feedback on how that looks. The trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home is dropping. Travis, let's see what else is trending here in the Twitter sphere. Uh, and I don't know about y'all, but I grew up on Sesame Street, and I guess um, there was some cool news today that the first Asian American Muppet is being introduced. Her name is Ji Young, and like it took me a moment there because I think representation is extremely important, and it's a good thing. Kids, they want to be watching something and see being able to imagine themselves up there, and and it's important in not just we're talking about a kids show now, but films like Crazy Rich Asians with the huge box office opening, Black Panther, and for a young woman to look up at a superhero movie and see someone like Wonder Woman or Black Widow, and it's like, yeah, I can kick butt too. So just a few of like myriad examples. So but for a minute I was like, okay, in Asian Muppet, great, but I guess there are like white Muppets and like Muppets of color. And then, but also some Muppets are monsters. So that's like, I usually just like go there. Oh, so, but yeah, so for the people type Muppets, that's great. And uh, very nice to see representation matters big time. And let me ask you this. I'm going to throw a question out there to all of our friends. I most closely associate Muppets like as the creatures. Do you have a favorite Muppet? I like some melancholy Muppets. I'm a fan I like Grover. Grover seems like a melancholy kind of Muppet. And then I'm a big Gonzo fan. Gonzo with his big old nose. And I don't know, I was always kind of delighted and weirded out that Gonzo has romantic relationships with chickens. uh, I always just kind of found that funny. Do you have a favorite Muppet? Tell us in the chat who your favorite Muppet is. I mean, are you going with the classics? Do you like Kermit? Do you like Miss Piggy? Or do you like a little bit of a road less traveled? Are you a Snuffleupagus fan? Oh yeah, we're getting Snuffleupagus references with your pal Hal, and I want to thank you. It's right around 11:30. It's 11:32. It's 2:32 on the East Coast, and I'm going to be here till 4 p.m. on the East Coast, 1 p.m. on the West Coast. Who is your favorite Muppet? Just go into the back channel and use the word say, and then give us say Fozzie Bear, say animal, whatever your favorite Muppet is, let us know. And or do you want me to do an impression of a Muppet, just like I did my animal impression? Say Hal, do a Miss Piggy impression. Say Hal, please stop destroying my childhood by doing terrible Muppet impressions, and we'll take it from there. Travis, what else is trending? Uh, got the baby is getting in more trouble. You got Alex Jones. You know what? Alex Jones being held liable. Alex Jones, one of the foremost purveyors of garbage in the world today. Yeah, good. The defamation case, nothing good. Um, comes out of the mouth of Alex Jones. So it's nice to see him losing in a legal setting, especially, yeah, being sued by the Sandy Hook parents. Just an ugly situation. And it's good to see justice prevail once in a while. Taylor Swift is out here, like she's new releases and remasters of her songs and talking about her exes. We had a lot of talk about her and Jake Gyllenhaal. And yeah, any thoughts on any of the new stuff dropped by Taylor? Uh, make some noise in the chat if you are a Swiftie. Swifties represent. Come on out and tell us if you have any thoughts on Taylor and the new music she is releasing. Xbox 70 new games to its backward compatibility library. Producer Travis, are you a gamer at all?
In my younger days. In my younger days.
I mean, you struck me as when you were a child.
Yeah. When I was a little baby boy, I was
Mhm.
actually just discussing last night with my roommates how just in the past couple of years I fell off, and it's not for any lack of interest. Just kind of stopped engaging with video games. But
Right,
this, however, if there's a way to reel me back in, the idea that Xbox, they even have this like slime green logo that reminds me of the original Xbox and being in seventh
right,
grade and firing that up and feeling all that. I'm so
nice.
happy about this. So if they're gonna add a bunch of old games that I can tap into and just have instant nostalgia right into the veins, I'm there.
Yeah, I mean, I love playing some of the old games of my youth.
Mm.
The I mean, NBA Jam. I'm a huge fan of that. I
We were
like the throwback games.
we
So
were just talking about that. We were talking about how we can figure out if we can somehow get a either an emulation or even a copy of NBA Jam or NFL Blitz to play for like a week.
well, it is, NBA Jam is out there. Like they did release the video game version or the home game version, but like you talking about the OG, the original with the original combos.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Did you have a go? Who was your go-to team to play with on NBA Jam?
Oh, I was so young and dumb. It was just MJ every time, just
Oh,
MJ.
sure. Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Uh,
No other
I
basketball player existed to me at that time.
Oh yeah, I used to go with the Seattle Supersonics and Sean Kemp and Gary Payton. Gary Payton, the glove, NBA Hall of Famer. His son is making a little bit of noise for the Golden State Warriors right now. Gary Payton two, GP2. Uh, and Sean Kemp, the Rain Man, they called him because he was raining from above. His thunderous dunks, one of the great power forwards of the 90s, Sean Kemp. And they
Mm,
were
mm, mm.
devastating combo. They met up with Michael Jordan's Bulls in the NBA Finals at least once,
Yep.
and sadly came away. Um, yeah, they did not emerge victorious because Michael Jordan. That's what he did. All he did was win rings, and but yeah, NBA Jam, a classic arcade game that I spent a lot of quarters on back in the day. uh, going to the arcade, that is a lost art. And let's ask the chat. Do you guys have any favorite old school video games? So I'm not talking about like, a little less off like, the GTA 5 and even like your Call of Duties, your Call of Duties Black Ops, your Assassin's Creeds, less that and more like in the arcade. So like, your Star Wars, like, arcade games. And I mean, if you go back even further, like you had such cool ones in the 80s that like for that moment in time, like Tron. Travis, did you ever play that Tron arcade game?
Never played Tron. No,
It's ins
I
it's
missed that one.
it was really fun and weird, back in the day. You could choose from all of these different events that, that
Oh,
that
and
Tron.
it was almost like line drawings, right?
Some of them, yeah, some of them. It was like rudimentary. We were not dealing with like, like high bit graphic, content here.
Yeah.
But
I think I jumped on the train at like Mortal Kombat 1 or 2 is the first
oh,
arcade machines I
classics,
played.
absolute classics. Mortal Kombat, and then when I think of Mortal Kombat, I think about Street Fighter. When I think about
Mm-hmm.
Street Fighter, I think about Street Fighter versus Capcom or Marvel versus Capcom.
Ooh,
Yeah, that is some
speaking the
good
language.
stuff. I'm a big fan of those old school video games. Nowadays, I feel like my video gaming has been replaced by another great time waster, fantasy sports. And sadly, my fantasy football team, I'm going to need some miracles in tonight's Monday Night Football. The LA Rams. I'm just going to need the entire LA Rams offense to just like go insane. I just need them to light up the scoreboard. I need the newly acquired Odell Beckham Jr. to do something. Listen, I'm a wing and a prayer for me to eke out a victory tonight in fantasy football.
Can I
Yeah.
speak a little bit of an anecdote very quickly? I was in a fantasy league as well,
Hmm.
and in this league, every week the lowest scoring member was eliminated. I think I may have talked about
Gotcha.
this already. I'm sorry if I have, but
Sure.
um, somebody approached me a couple of weeks ago who had been eliminated previously, looking to
Hmm.
buy my team from me. And I said, sure. So they did that. And this team was also heavily relying on the Los Angeles Rams. And I don't think and I hope that you can't enact the lemon law on a fantasy football team, because from the moment I sold that team, the wheels have fallen off. And this man is going to lose this week.
Oh man. Well, you got out while the getting was good. Listen,
I did.
that's yeah. Uh, Listen, fantasy football, fantasy sports, a harsh mistress, and this person is just getting like a tough dose of reality. So good on you, and buyer beware. Buyer
Yeah.
beware. Your mileage
Buyer
may
beware.
vary, etc. So uh, I don't think there is a fantasy football lemon law for good for your sake, Travis.
Fantastic. Don't chase the fantasy dragon.
Yes, don't. Well, oh, but victory and bragging rights. So sweet. So very sweet. Uh, let's shift gears and talk about some TV, some movies. We're going to talk a little box office. We're going to have a couple of TV reviews, recommendations, etc. And I'd like to know, did you do any weekend viewing? Did you check out any new movies? Check out any TV shows? Are you binging anything lately? Let us know in the chat. Again, you can chat with us on backchannel.tv or talk to the feed and get your device's attention. Then use the word say and then jump in and let us know. Say, I've been binging Friends again. I've been watching it from start to finish. Or say, I am excited for Wheel of Time, the new show uh, with a Rosamund Pike fantasy series. Or say, I've been watching Foundation on Apple Plus. Or say, I just watched Dune again and again and again. And if anyone has listened or hung out with us before, uh, I like that Dune. I I kind of Dune, as the kids say, Dune is a whole mood, and I will always take an opportunity to immerse myself with. I just want to fall asleep to Dune and wake up and think I'm in the desert, surrounded by just the fields of spice, and you got Timothy Chalamet and his mother Rebecca Ferguson searching for Zendaya. Oh, yeah, Dune whisked me away. I feel like I'm still on the sandy spice planet. So, TV streaming, recs, and reviews. Watch some good stuff over the weekend. Are you up to date with Succession? Succession is back on HBO, HBO Max. Absolutely worth checking out. We are in the third season. If you haven't been watching Succession, get in on the conversation. Whoa, what are you waiting for? We had a really good episode. It was touch and go. They had the big shareholders meeting. And so if you're not familiar, again, Succession is Brian Cox is the patriarch of this company. It's kind of like Disneyland meets Fox News, like this huge conglomerate that owns just TV stations, cruise lines, amusement parks, news channels. So it's like a multi-billion dollar, like tens and tens of billions of dollar TV empire. And so we are on this journey over the course of the show to see who's going to take over for the older, the septuagenarian patriarch of this family. And it's getting real, y'all. So we had Kendall Roy, who you see on the right there, looking dour and pensive. He really is trying to sell out the family and get his father to get out, and by calling out and being uh, uh, admitting to some of the crimes and things that have been buried in the company's past. And then you have the most of the family staying loyal to the father and being pitted against Kendall. And there are the four brothers and sisters. And yeah, it's like Billions meets kind of The Sopranos. Yeah, basically, Billions meets The Sopranos. I would describe Succession, and yeah, it is not disappointing. And it's just so the dialogue. You have so many barbs and so much sharp dialogue. You just had Kieran Culkin, one of the stars of Succession, hosting Saturday Night Live last week, and really funny stuff. And he's fantastic. The brother of course, Home Alone's Macaulay Culkin. That'd be cool if they could get a Macaulay Culkin like stunt casting on Succession. But would it be cool, or would it be too distracting? Just as I said that, I was thinking about the time that Ed Sheeran was on Game of Thrones, and then it just like, oh yeah, I just kind of recoiled. I felt like that. Do you remember that Ed Sheeran Game of Thrones cameo? Complete cringe, total cringe. But Succession, not disappointing. Yet an intense episode this weekend, and yeah, and just some of the funniest, sharpest, darkest humor on television. So if you got a dark sense of humor and you like it just wry and raw, pointed barbs, yeah, Succession absolutely for you. Also, one of the great TV shows uh, of the last 20 years. Curb Your Enthusiasm. Watch some Curb. I'm caught up with Curb Your Enthusiasm. Great episode this weekend with cool guest star turns from Woody Harrelson, and you had Kaylee Cuoco. Vince Vaughn is showing a very subdued comedy side, because Vince Vaughn, like most of his comedy characters, like I love some Vince Vaughn, going back way back to Swingers, Old School, very hilarious film. By the way, speaking of Old School, I might have laughed the hardest I ever laughed in a theater in that scene in Old School where Will Ferrell is at like a kid's birthday party and gets shot in the neck with a tranquilizer dart. Uh, if if you remember that scene, it's insane. Really, really great stuff. But this season of Curb Your Enthusiasm is back, and Curb Your Enthusiasm has not lost its fastball. It's really funny, and it's in its 11th season, started in the year 2000, and it basically comes back when it wants to. And Larry David, Jeff Garlin, and the whole gang, so funny. And you have, and it really deals with stuff that's happening in the country, in the world right now, in a very precise, funny way. It examines the weirdness and of daily interaction, social faux pas, and I think it does it so well. It rides the line of just being edgy, but not like, oh, so edgy that like, oh, it should be canceled. It like brings out the humanity in all situations. And yeah, Larry was interacting like there's a great storyline this past weekend where Larry, he he got on the bad side of a member of the Ku Klux Klan, which is like obviously like the most deplorable, hateable, horrific organization. But Larry's like, oh, I got to make it up to this guy because I was in the wrong, and so just kind of a comedy of errors there. And then Woody Harrelson had a really funny storyline where he was spoofing and parodying the idea of celebrities and very political messaging in award shows. So Woody Harrelson was kind of taking the piss out of celebrity causes because sometimes it was just a little too much. Woody Harrelson was he was railing against people drinking cow's milk and using cow's milk to make cream for coffee. So super funny. Curb Your Enthusiasm. If you've been thinking about jumping into this season, yeah, hasn't lost a step. Very funny and worth checking out. Also, I watched a new movie on Netflix this past weekend called Army of Thieves. So, if you remember, a few months back, there was a film, Army of the Dead, from Zack Snyder, and I am a reluctant but a strong fan of Zack Snyder's Justice League. I did enjoy the Snyder cut against my better judgment. I didn't think I would, but I did. So Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead a few months back about a heist in zombie apocalypse laden Las Vegas. So a group led by Dave Bautista and a rogue band of misfits go to crack a safe in Las Vegas while it's overrun by zombies, and you have zombie tiger, zombie Siegfried and Roy, zombie showgirls coming after them. But this new movie, Army of Thieves, not Army of the Dead, is a prequel to that, where we revisit a couple of the characters from Army of the Dead, and one of them is the lead of this film is the safe cracker. He's their number one safe cracker guy who is going to go in and crack these safes. Safes plural should be saves. It's easier to say saves than safes. That's just an observation. But in Army of Thieves, our safecracker has teamed up with a group of master criminals to crack the most legendary safes ever constructed, and it's a series of 3 of them that are themed to the each of them is themed to a German opera, and like they have like this history, and they're these legendary safes, and they want to just become legends. They want that legend status. So this is a good, fun action thriller. It's a heist movie. I love me some heist movies. Greatest heist movie of all time. Probably got to say Michael Mann's Heat. Okay. Also, just like, that is on my list of like just top films of all time. So, but if you like a heist movie, if you like them putting together a crew, everybody's got some special skills, and one that's not going to make you overthink or think too hard, you could do worse than Army of Thieves on Netflix right now. You might want to check that out. And again, Succession, Curb Your Enthusiasm, those are available on HBO, HBO Max. And one other HBO recommendation, if you like if you're interested in a docuseries about cults and like interesting like personalities who have manipulated people and have become infamous, if you want to see some true crime, there is a series called The Way Down. Hey, Travis.
Yeah.
Did you have just saw you there? Did you want to chime in?
No. That was a slight tech malfunction on my hub's part here. I was jettisoned into the stream without my consent.
Oh my
so
goodness.
Hi, how you doing? Haven't seen Army of Thieves yet, but looks like a good time.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like if you liked, I think it's it's just as good, if not better than Army of the Dead. Army of the Dead, I felt like was it 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 didn't exceed the premise. You're like, oh, in Vegas, and you see the trailer, like you saw most of the good parts in the trailer. Um,
I'd heard that.
yeah, Army of Thieves, it's it's an unexpected, nice little treat.
Wonderful. Do you
And
think that
yeah,
the fact, well, I'm not sure how much they get into this, but Army of the Dead, obviously a zombie movie. Army of Thieves seems like that's not the point. Do you feel that without the extra factor of zombies, it stands more on its own? It's just like a fun action film?
it does. The zombie apocalypse is just kind of happening in the background because it's, I guess, in the conceit of the film, the zombie apocalypse is happening in America, and it hasn't spread to Europe as of yet. So
Interesting. That's
yeah,
actually that's I have never heard anything that happened like that before in terms of like an active plot while it's happening but not where you are.
yes, exactly. So I mean, you see that in a movie where it's like, oh, it's not here yet, and then it gets there, but the plot is focused more on that. This is like, oh, and like a distant, let's not talk about the fact that there are actual zombies in America, uh, and that is absolutely just kind of an afterthought as this band of criminals is trying to pull off some of the, like, these legendary heists. And back to what I was talking about, this docu series, The Way Down on HBO. It's about this woman who became the lead pastor at this mega church, and her much of her preaching uh, became about weight loss, and she developed like a weight loss plan, and she was trying to bring the best out of people, but at the same time she was using it to, oh, here's a novel story, a pastor who is not quite trustworthy and is using funds from the church to fly private planes, to build a giant mansion, to drive around in luxurious, fancy cars. Yeah. So, this woman who was the pastor of this church and has what, like, we see that picture right there, that haircut, that hairstyle. Oh my goodness. I mean, again, last week we talked about a show called Rich, and I mentioned that one of the stars was a boss level Karen of this docu series. Uh, this is like, if you ever saw the movie Aliens, there was an alien queen mother who was like bigger than all the other aliens who kind of laid eggs. This is an alien queen mother of Karens, if you are seeing this. If you're not seeing this, let me describe this picture to you. She is, just a regular looking blonde woman. And then she has either is using one of those devices called a bump it or just hairspray, and has teased up her hair like, we're getting close to a foot here of hair piled high, this bouffant, and maybe Karens are born out of that hair. I think it's possible. She might be an alien come to Earth to drop little Karen eggs. I do not know. Are you watching anything good? Let us know. I want to know in the chat, or you can go to backchannel.tv or address your device and then use the word say, and you can tell us what you've been watching. Say, I watched Dune this weekend and I want to be lost on the Spice Planet. Or yes, I watched The Way Down and this woman is cuckoo. So, yeah, she basically uh, engenders this cult-like devotion from her, from everyone who is on her weight loss plan and worshiping at the church where she is a preacher, and it has become, yeah, almost cult-like, and there were lawsuits. And then during the filming, this is not a spoiler, while they had actually filmed this and edited it, the woman died in a plane crash, a private plane. So that was kind of like really just a fascinating wrinkle, and it comes into play. And The Way Down is worth checking out. Just the characters, the individuals who populate this church. Like this woman takes up with an like an ex actor who is like he becomes a pastor just to kind of ingratiate himself in the world. And you see it just like these people are so superficial, and it's clear. It's like, how could you go along with something presented by these superficial, like one-dimensional, like leeches, essentially? And The Way Down, it's a fascinating story about how people can get snookered. Listen, people are getting snookered. I've been snookered before. If I could go back, you know what? I'm I'm not gonna go down the road of my regrets, because we'd be here all afternoon. Your pal Hal, not gonna talk about the times I've been snookered, but I am going to talk about the weekend box office. Let's take a look at the weekend box office. Travis, he went to the theaters this weekend. He saw The French Dispatch. We're going to talk about the top 5 films at the weekend box office. Let's take a look. All right, coming in at number 5 with $4 million, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Again, it's the new Venom film. Tom Hardy as Venom. Woody Harrelson, who we were just talking about on Curb Your Enthusiasm, playing a very funny kind of parody of himself. Woody Harrelson as the character Carnage. And that is number 5, hanging in the box office top 5 this weekend. There it is. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Coming in at number 4, I saw this with my mom, Deborah Rudnick, who was present in the chat there. No Time to Die, James Bond's No Time to Die, coming in at $4,620,862. No Time to Die coming in at number 4 this weekend. Coming in at number 3, we are in the bag for this movie, and very excited that there will be a part 2. It would have been crazy if they released Dune. I'm talking about Dune. Dune is in at number 3. Dune as a part 1. If they didn't release a part 2, like, that would have been just insane. It's like, wait, it would have been like releasing part 1 of Lord of the Rings and stopping. How bananas would that be? So Dune clocking in at number 3 with a cool 5,500,000. Coming in at number 2, we had a debut this weekend. Clifford, the Big Red Dog. Clifford's a big red good boy. That good boy Clifford comes in at $16,420,000. Clifford coming in at number 2 at the box office, and holding on to the number 1 spot for the second straight week, the latest offering from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, The Eternals. The Eternals coming in second place with a cool $27,500,000. The Eternals coming in at number 2. That is your weekend box office. It's just a couple of minutes after noon here on the West Coast, and it is a couple of minutes after 3 on the East Coast. You're hanging out with your pal Hal. I'm going to be with you for the next hour up until the top of the hour. I'll be here till 1 o'clock on the West Coast. I'll be here till 4 o'clock on the East Coast. And please, we would love for you to participate in the chat. Did you see anything in the theaters? What did you get up to this weekend? How is your Monday going? Let us know anything at all. Go ahead and address your device. Use the word say, and say anything at all. Say, how I grew a giant prize-winning gourd in my garden this weekend. Or say, Hal, I already have Thanksgiving fever and I'm looking up recipes. Are you getting ready for Thanksgiving? And let me ask you this. Is it too early for people to put up their Christmas decorations? Uh, I'm Jewish, but my wife, also Jewish, she loves Christmas. When I was a kid, just to kind of fit in, I had a Christmas stocking. Listen, Christmas it's become a gift giving holiday. Yes, it's a religious holiday, but there's also like I'm down with the Christmas spirit. I don't care if someone wishes me a Merry Christmas and I'm a Jew. Christmas is it's become that much more. So my wife loves Christmas decorations. She likes to set up a little bit of a tree, and does that make me a bad Jew? Does it make us bad Jews? Maybe. I don't know. Who's the judge? All right. But yes, it's a gift giving time of year, and we put up Christmas decorations. Uh, Alex chimed in this weekend. Alex planned the menu for the upcoming Friendsgiving. Very nice. All right. Any cool recipes? Are you going to do anything crazy? Which direction are you going with pies? Okay. Do you have a favorite? Pecan, pumpkin, apple. Out of those three, I got to go pecan. Okay. I'm a sucker for pecan pie. I like all the pies. I'll listen. I come to your house for Thanksgiving. You serve me a piece of apple pie, I'm eating it. You serve me a piece of pumpkin pie, bye bye to that slice of pie. I will eat it. Also, let me ask you this. Have you ever had a slice of apple pie with a slice of American cheese on top? An underrated delicacy. Apple pie with a slice of cheese on top, slightly heated. So the cheese starts to melt. Boom. Just like put it in the microwave for a second, pull it out. Apple pie with cheese on top. Do it today. Thank me tomorrow. Do it on Thanksgiving. Thank me on Black Friday. Okay. If you don't know, now you know. Alex, let us know what the menu is going to be like. I want to hear what's happening with your Thanksgiving tastiness. I love that. Glad you are in prep mode for that. Enjoy, enjoy. And yeah, Thanksgiving is right around the corner. When is it? But I want to ask, is it too early to put up Christmas decorations? I think so. I think maybe Thanksgiving week, but it's getting earlier and earlier. Oh, wet turkey because you're not eating dry turkey. I feel you. Or at least have the gravy on deck. But if you can a moist bird, everyone likes a moist bird. And then slather that thing. Are you more of a gravy person? Are you a cranberry? Are you a little bit of both? I am team gravy over team cranberry all day. Okay. Hashtag team gravy in the house. And speaking of teams, do you ever meet up with a team of your friends and do a little bar trivia? Are you a trivia enthusiast? Well, this is the time of the show where your pal Hal is going to launch into a little trivia. It is trivia time. What do you know? And then if you don't know, now you know, or you will know, because I will tell you an answer once I ask the question. But I will give you a chance to answer it. That is how that works. Thank you for hanging out with your pal Hal. We are here on the Backchannel. If you want to answer these trivia questions, go to backchannel.tv, type in the answers, play along, or just talk to your device. You address your device, use the word say, and let us know if you have an answer to this question. We are playing for bragging rights. You can be today's your pal Hal trivia maven, the trivia champion. I want to brand that. I want to the ultimate trivia warrior, the Thanos of no, that doesn't. I don't want to tie it to the MCU. Okay, I'm going to keep workshopping that. We will come up with the perfect name for our trivia winner. But yes, the Your Pal Hal trivia champion, and we are going to jump into the trivia right about now. Okay, don't forget you can answer our trivia questions by using the word say and then talking to your device, or go to backchannel.tv and answer the questions there. Question number 1. What is the name of the Earth's largest ocean? What is the Earth's largest ocean? So there are what 7 oceans on Earth? What is the Earth's largest ocean? Let us know. And how many oceans have you visited in your life? How many oceans have you visited in your life? Uh, but yeah, what is largest, the Earth's largest ocean? Okay, Alex chiming in with an answer there. Oh, and I misspoke there. There are 5 oceans and 7 seas, or what we call the 7 seas. Apparently there are 5 oceans. And if you said Billy is not one of them. Billy Ocean, the singer of I think Billy Ocean's number 1 hit, if anyone wants to go in the Wayback Machine to the 80s, get out of my dreams, get in the backseat, baby, get into my car. Also, Billy Ocean sang the theme song for Romancing the Stone, the Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner joint back in the day. Travis, producer Travis, come on in here. Do you have any clue as to what the answer, the world's largest ocean?
Ocean?
What? Don't tell us the answer. Do you know though?
No idea. No
No
clue.
idea. Okay. Well, let's go to the chat. Alex saying Pacific Ocean. And Alex, I would throw you a life preserver, but you don't need it. You are swimming. You got it. Alex, splish splashing around, nailing it. Well done. Jan just joined us. Jan, welcome to the stream. Alex, you are 1 for 1. Let's ask another trivia question. Okay. I referenced this series of films earlier when talking about Dune. If they didn't release the second Dune movie, that would be just a catastrophe. Like if they didn't release the Lord of the Ring, they released the first Lord of the Rings and then just stopped. So here is a question related to that. Lucy, welcome. Lucy just joined the stream. Who is Trivia question number 2? Who is the only actor to receive an Oscar nomination for acting in a Lord of the Rings movie? Who is the only actor to receive an Oscar nomination for acting in a Lord of the Rings movie? Ooh, it's a good question. Yeah, as we know, I don't think this is a spoiler or anything for this question. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King won an Oscar for Best Picture. And I feel like that was like a celebratory award, a crowning achievement for the whole trilogy. I do not think, I mean, it's hard to ask this question just like a bubble, like out of context. Without the other Lord of the Rings movies, you wouldn't have this coronation for Lord of the Rings Return of the King. So yeah, I don't think Lord of the Rings Return of the King would have won. So think about the actors that were in the Lord of the Rings movies. You had a lot of great actors. You had a huge cast. By the way, yes, so many good actors. I don't want to say too many of their names. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to give out the answers. Hey, Travis, do you have any thoughts? Any thoughts? First off, are you a Tolkien head, a J.R.R. Tolkien head? Are you a Rings fan?
I'm a big fan of the films. Couldn't hack it with the books, but
Mm-hmm.
massive fan of the films.
Sure. You know what? I feel similarly. Did never read the books. That's a secret between you, me, and the back channel. Okay? I feel like that's a dirty little secret. Uh, I'm the same way with the girl with the dragon tattoo. Love the
Mm-hmm.
movies. Um, haven't read the books. The Swedish movies, the American. I like the first American version. Uh, so, anyone have an answer? Isa, hello. Thank you for joining the stream. Anyone have an answer for who is the only actor from the Lord of the Rings films to be nominated for an Academy Award? Uh, uh, Travis, any thoughts?
No.
Well, you had quite a cast. I mean, amongst the cast, you had Kate Blanchett, you had Liv Tyler, Viggo Mortensen. Viggo Mortensen, underrated. Like, he had just like a period in the like early 2000s where like Viggo was just like cranking out some great flicks. Absolutely worth checking out. Is um, Eastern Promises, A History of Violence, Vigo, like I Go Where Vigo Go, back in the early 2000s. But it was it was none of them. It was decorated British actor Sir Ian McKellen as Gandalf. Ian McKellen, the only actor from the Lord of the Rings films to be nominated for an Oscar, for Oscar Gold, an Academy Award. All right, let's keep the trivia going here, folks. We were talking about NBA jams earlier. Here is an NBA centric question. When Michael Jordan played for the Chicago Bulls, how many NBA championships did he win? How many NBA championships did Michael Jordan win with the Chicago Bulls? Uh, all of these championships came in the 90s. I don't know if anyone saw Last Dance, that great docu-series from ESPN talking about Michael Jordan and the Bulls. So good. If you haven't watched Last Dance, what are you waiting for? Uh, and that was like one of the treats. That was early on in the pandemic. And it was like, okay, Last Dance and Tiger King, I felt kept a lot of people going during the pandemic. It really kept our minds off of like the nonsense of like the real life stuff that was happening. But yeah, especially Last Dance came at a time when all sports had shut down. Remember this recent history? So if you want to play along with us, if you want to guess about Michael Jordan or about say anything about Lord of the Rings or go back and tell us about the time that you capsized a boat in the Pacific Ocean, going back to our first question, talk to your device, use the word say, and then answer the question. So how many championships did Michael Jordan win? Talk to your device, use the word say, and then 57, I guess 57 championships. You would be wrong because that's kind of that would be ridiculous. But any guess, any guess. You know what? Feel free to throw something dumb against the wall, see if it sticks. Or go to backchannel.tv and type in your answers there. So, how many championships, Travis? I'll be disappointed if you don't know this because I know you're a basketball fan.
I've got this one.
You've got this one.
I've got
All
this
right, let's see. Let's go to the stream. Okay, no one is chiming in with the stream. So, Travis, go ahead and tell us. Boom. I love that. There are the rings, 6 rings, double three-peat, Michael Jordan. That's all he do is win championships. When people get in the debate between LeBron James and Michael Jordan, I think like LeBron James, I love LeBron James as a player and I really like him as a person. The guy took so much of his own money to open a school back in his home state of Ohio. And the school, it really is a model for so many other schools in helping out students and parents with financial and after school programs. But LeBron James has lost several championships. Like what is his LeBron James has won 4 and lost what like 5 or something. Like I think he's lost more than he's won. Whereas Michael Jordan 6 and 0, and the guy was a deadly assassin on the court. So LeBron is great. The rebounding, the passing, the physicality, great score, but yeah, uh, unimpeachable finals record from Michael Jordan, 6 and 0. And at the end of the day, yeah, the guy hung banners. The guy won championships. So 6 championships. Keep it going. We got a couple more trivia questions here. Ooh, okay. I am an inveterate coffee drinker. I wake up in the morning, I put the IV in my arm. I am caffeinated. I stay caffeinated. Here's a coffee related question for you. Which country produces the most coffee in the world? Which country produces the most coffee in the world? Feel free to lob us a guess. Use the word say and then say anything at all. Device, say Canada. You would be incorrect. It is not Canada. Too cold for the beans, y'all. Too cold for the beans. Or go to backchannel.tv and let us know if you have a guess for who produces the most coffee in the world. What country? Travis, are you I forget if we talked about this at all. Are you a coffee drinker?
100%. Absolutely. Every day.
Right on. And let me ask you this. Do you have a particular Starbucks order?
I don't have a Starbucks order. I
Mm.
am of that ilk where, well, for one, I don't live near a Starbucks, really,
You
to
don't
make it
live,
that convenient.
listen, do you live in the United States? You live near a Starbucks.
Fair enough, fair enough. But I am literal next door neighbors, literal, with a
Yes.
McDonald's. So I hit the
Okay.
McCafe. I hit the
Sure,
McCafe.
sure. McDonald's, not a bad cup of coffee. Not a bad
Yeah.
cup of coffee. A few years back, they stepped their game up. You got that McCafe.
hmm
Uh, are you partial to any McDonald's breakfast sandwiches?
Also, no, I stop in, I get a coffee, and I head out. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I like to keep it on the health tip. I'm like an almonds and fruit for breakfast guy, or maybe
Yeah.
like, I eat boring cereals. Like I am grape nuts or muslix. Or you got the trail mix right there?
Got the almonds,
Almonds.
the
Nice.
raw almonds.
Boom, boom. Raw almonds or almonds. But if I really want to treat myself, or like if I am dealing with the worst hangover of all time, McDonald's breakfast sandwiches, and it is. I mean, I love them. I would eat them all day if like if they weren't going to clog my arteries. So, uh, yeah,
Do you have any
that's
recs? Would be a good one to. If I wanted to break into the world of breakfast sandwiches, where would I start?
on the McDonald's menu. I would
Yeah.
absolutely go bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or like if you want to get fancy, if you want to go a little, oh, how do you like me now? Go with that bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddle. The McGriddle is that they got the
Mm.
syrupy flavored bun. Okay, so 2 decadent treats from Mickey D's. Back to our question: what country produces the most coffee in the world? Travis, do you have a guess?
So here's the thing.
Yeah,
I looked it up for the review, and I had a guess, and it
gotcha.
was wrong. So prior to
Oh,
this, I
okay.
had a guess, and it was wrong.
All right. Well, the most beans, the most coffee production comes from Brazil. Brazil. They're doing it right down there. They are cranking out the beans, and you like maybe people sleep on Brazil a little bit because you hear like you got Hawaiian Kona coffee, you got Colombian, a lot of Colombian coffee, Colombian beans, but yes, Brazil producing the most coffee in the world. All right, we're gonna throw another trivia question at you. Uh, okay, this is classic. This is a classic. Uh, let's see if we have any classic movie aficionados hanging out with us right now. So there was a stage play called "Everybody Comes to Rick's," That stage play was adapted for the screen to become what 1942 Best Picture winner. Okay? Classic film, considered one of the great films of all time, the Best Picture winner, 1942. Everybody Comes to Rick's. Okay? Rick's figures prominently in this film. I will give you a couple of other hints. Ingrid Bergman, the lovely Ingrid Bergman. Also, the one and only Humphrey Bogart, Peter Lorre. Great cast of characters in this film. Any guesses as to what stage play, what the stage play Everybody Comes to Rick's was called when made into the 1942 Oscar winner? What is the name of this classic film? And a quote that I think gets paraphrased, but they say like this quote isn't actually in the movie, but a lot of people know "Play It Again, Sam." And the As Time Goes By, a classic song. So one of the great films of all time. Feel free to guess by addressing your device, using the word say and putting in your answer. Say Citizen Kane. No. Say Maltese Falcon. No. Also a Humphrey Bogart film. Say, are you ready for it? Casablanca. Casablanca. Yes, there it is. Bogart, Bergman, Paul Henreid. That's a beautiful old movie poster there. Yeah, they don't make them like they used to. Oh, Sidney Greenstreet. Just classic character actors. Peter Lorre. You probably know, like a lot of these. Now, if you don't know the movie, if you grew up watching Looney Tunes cartoons at all, like sometimes like you would see these homages for movies like this, classic movies in the Looney Tunes cartoons, which was kind of cool. And it's doubly cool if you knew the movie and then you saw the reference in Looney Tunes. But when the Looney Tunes were made, they were referencing the most popular pop culture of like the day or like recent history. And yeah, Casablanca, and an enduring film, holds up. One of the great films of all time, one of the great love stories of all time, one of the great war films of all time, took place during World War II in a time fraught with peril. And yeah, you had, the Nazis marching into Africa with like Rommel, and then you had the French Foreign Legion and the French citizenry of Casablanca at the time. Yeah, terrific movie. Absolutely worth checking out. Check it out. Get back to me. Let us know here that you watch Casablanca in the next few days. And if you don't like it, we'll talk about it right here on the back channel. Okay. One final trivia question for you coming up on 12:30. Give you one last one. And this trivia question. Okay. We're going to do one more movie related question, and we're going to keep it a little bit more recent, than 1942. We were talking the other day. My friend producer Travis is a big fan of the Dark Knight trilogy, as am I. When it comes, better trilogy, Lord of the Rings or Dark Knight? Tuffy. I might go Lord of the Rings because it's just like this perfect journey, and what a grand journey that fellowship went on. So here's the question: who took over the role of Bruce Wayne's love interest, Rachel Dawes, in The Dark Knight following Katie Holmes's exit after Batman Begins? Who took over the role of Bruce Wayne's love interest, Rachel Dawes, in The Dark Knight following Katie Holmes? So after Katie Holmes left, who played Rachel Dawes in The Dark Knight? After Katie Holmes left, who played Rachel Dawes in The Dark Knight? Feel free to answer by addressing your device. Use the word say and put your answer in after that. Device, say Cher. No, it was not actress and singer Cher. Or device, say Honey Boo Boo. No, it was no one from the reality show Honey Boo Boo playing Rachel Dawes. Let us know after Katie Holmes left. Who was it? Travis, you better know this one, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, I was tapping away. Yeah, I've got this one locked.
Oh yeah. Uh, let us know who is the actress who replaced Katie Holmes. Here's a hint. Her brother is one of the great actors working today. You could see him right now in a taut drama on Netflix called The Guilty, about a 911 operator who inserts themselves into an emergency situation. He was also the titular Nightcrawler in I think it's the 2014 film Nightcrawler. Great underrated movie, dark territory that movie ventures into, but really well done. That actor is Jake Gyllenhaal, and the answer, Maggie Gyllenhaal. Is it Gyllenhaal or Gyllenhaal? Travis?
I've only heard Gyllenhaal,
Yeah.
but that's also in regard.
Yeah, I think it is Gyllenhaal, but I've definitely said it both ways. Listen, is it a GIF or a GIF? Okay, uh, I still say GIF, even though the creator says it's a GIF. Okay, Maggie Gyllenhaal took over for Katie Holmes after Katie Holmes left after Batman Begins. Maggie Gyllenhaal, oh, very sad what happened to her, uh, and Two Face. Harvey Dent. Very sad what happened to her and Harvey Dent in The Dark Knight. All right. We are at 12:30. I'm going to be with you for another half hour here on the back channel, going up till 1 o'clock on the West Coast, going up till 4 o'clock on the East Coast. If you want to participate, please jump in. Shout out to Deborah. Great to see you, aka my mommy. Listen, I loves my mom. There you go. And shout out to everybody who's hanging out in the back channel. Go ahead and join the chat. Let us know what you have going on. Have you already made your Thanksgiving food plans? Are you still sussing out? Do you have any specialties? Are you making a side dish? Alex chimed in with that. Have you seen anything good? Do you have any movie recommendations for us? Let us know. Any TV shows you're binging? Again, address your device. Use the word say. That is the magic word. And give us whatever you want. Say, I'm making my green bean and fried onion casserole. Or device, say, I'm going to make my peanut butter banana surprise. I love those two flavors, by the way. So please send me a slice of your peanut butter banana surprise. And thank you again for hanging out right here in the back channel. So, going to shift gears a little bit here. We talked a little bit of trivia, and now I just want to address something that I want to talk about, something everyone can relate to. Uh, Weird neighbors. Do you have any weird neighbors? Have you had neighbors that bug you? Let us know. Do you have any just oddballs that live around you? Are you the oddball? Because listen, I'm going to talk about weird neighbors. Sometime to someone somewhere, you might have been the weird neighbor. And that's not lost on me. Okay? I I fully understand that someone might see me like, walking my dogs, or just doing something. Maybe I wore some like something weird Maybe I was a little too loud while I was on my phone. Who knows? I might be that guy. But from where I'm sitting, someone else is that person. Do you have any weird neighbors? I want to know about, do you have that busybody neighbor? Do you have that loud neighbor? Do you have the arguing neighbors? Okay. Do you have that neighbor that annoys you with the music? Do you have that neighbor that wants to be your friend a little too much and wants to go from like take that neighbor relationship to the next level? Let us know. Talk to us in the back channel. You go to backchannel.tv, or you can talk to your device, use the word say, and tell us about your weird neighbors. So I wanted to, you know what? I have a neighbor, and I don't want to say that I feel emasculated around this neighbor, but the guy looks like Tarzan, and he is always going for walks in my neighborhood and not wearing a shirt. And it's like, it's not always shirtless weather, okay? You could put on a shirt with your long hair and your muscles. Listen, I am confident in my manhood and looks and appearance, but I don't need Tarzan walking around as eye candy for my wife and all the ladies in the neighborhood. I mean, so maybe it does make me a little self-conscious, but also here's something. Here's the weird part, because like I get it. People are going to go shirtless. There's also an old guy that walks around the neighborhood showing off his naked old guy torso that I don't really need to see. So maybe put clothes on. But here's the thing that really bugs me. And maybe this is just not me. I want to know where you stand on this. This guy, Tarzan, always going on walks, this 6'5", muscle bound white dude, long hair, Tarzan looking dude, bare feet, always, only. And I'm out. I am not a barefoot guy. In fact, I'm a sneakerhead. I always wear sneakers. Yeah, big sneakerhead. Here are a pair of my Jordan Oreo 4s. Classic. Just a simple pair of Nike Blazers that I got on deck right here. That's just what I have within grabbing. Oh, gotta love me some Kobe's. Here's some old Kobe's that I have. So I'm these are probably Kobe 5s or 6s, I forget. But anyway, I love me some sneakers. I am always going to wear sneakers. I'm not a flip-flop guy. So maybe, I don't know, do I have an what's an anti-foot fetish? But where do you stand on bare feet? I said, I'm just nervous for him, I guess. So I also I feel like a little bit put off by him, and it's just like me, Tarzan, you Jane kind of vibe as he's walking through the neighborhood, just like owning it so hard. And then I feel like I'm nervous for him. Like, you're going to step on a rock or glass. Like, there was a car that got its window bashed in the other day, and there was glass on the ground. Dude, put on a shoe. Put on a flip-flop. Put on a sneaker. Put on a rubber-soled shoe. Where do you stand on this? Am I really the get off my lawn guy right now? Or should people wear shoes when they're going on long walks? I think it's weird. I don't know. I'm a shoe guy. Travis, come on in. Where do you stand on this?
I don't want to see anybody from the ankle down.
Right?
I don't want it. I'm sorry. It's my problem. I own it, but I don't want it.
Yeah, what about people like on airplanes that take their shoes off? Like, what is barefoot guy doing? Like, does he ever try to take that mess inside a store? No shirt, no shoes, no service. This guy, he's not getting service. He's no shirt and no shoes.
Yeah. If our body is I am my own store, and I am refusing service to these people that come around, and now, like, venue to venue, if it's the beach, whatever, then that's really my problem. But, like, I was out in the beach cities the other night watching a comedy show, and there was just a lot of night
Hmm.
sandals, and that was just a little much for me.
Yeah, I guess I guess if you're like living out there in Margaritaville, I guess if you're a parrot head or just in the beach cities, you're gonna live that beach lifestyle.
Yeah.
So that's a thing. That's a thing. I feel you though. I'm not a sandal guy.
Yeah.
I'm not a barefoot guy. How do you feel about bare feet? Let us know in the chat. Like, or if someone walks into your establishment barefoot, are you refusing them service? Are you saying, please return with some kind of shoe or foot covering? Let us know in the chat. You can talk to us by getting your device's attention using the word say, and say bare feet are gross, or say, let me see them little piggies. I mean, are you down with the piggies, or are you anti-piggy? I do not want to see the little piggies. I am sorry. Take the piggy back to market or back home. Put the piggy in its little piggy house. Put your 3 little piggies, put your 5 little piggies in your house made out of straw, bricks, or whatever, and leave me out of it. That's not what I signed up for. Also, oh, I I had a neighbor when I first started hanging out at my wife's when we were just dating. I was parking in this space, and it was not labeled. It was like free parking. I was not in, and I literally was not in anyone's space. But I had a neighbor who left a note on my car: "Do not dump your car here." And I'm like, "What? Like, do you have weirdo note leaving neighbors?" uh, Thankfully, my wife uh, really fought that battle for me and told that neighbor to step off, that I belong here because I'm her visitor. And honestly, it was a place where anyone could park anyway. So this person, out of order, way out of line. Yeah. And but now it's just like I feel weird every time I see that person who left that note on my car. Do you have any note leavers in your neighborhood? Do you have any weirdos? Uh, any any weird neighbor situations? Also, I had a roommate who left me weird notes one time, and yeah, that was an unfortunate back in college. Glad I am glad my roommate days are behind me. Travis, do you have any weird neighbor stories? Any neighbors that just got on your nerves, or any weird roommate stories? I know you live with some folks.
My roommates, luckily, gems. I love them to death.
Good,
In
good.
my time, I have had some neighbors. There was a man back when I lived in an apartment in the Bay Area with a friend of mine that we just
Mm-hmm.
called Upstairs Guy. And Upstairs Guy would listen to action movies. I'm not sure if he was watching them, because while these action movies were playing at pretty much full volume, he would
Yeah.
also be doing something that we think he was just dropping a marble bust around the room, just for fun, just
Wow.
taking a marble bust and rolling it around at intervals. Um, but he was also terrifying. He was a terrifying guy. Seemed particularly unhinged,
Oh
and
boy.
one day he got arrested, and then that was the last we heard of him.
There you go.
Yeah,
Um, you know what? That all tracks. That just horrific, unexplainable noises and
yeah,
loud, violent films. Um, generally terrifying, and then ended up in cuffs.
yep,
That tracks. That tracks. Uh, well, I'm glad. I'm glad you didn't no longer had to deal with terrifying guy.
yeah,
That
yeah. Me too.
a good ending to that story. And I've had loud neighbors. I've had neighbors. Oh man, I used to live in this one building where the walls were like so thin, and the building, it just seemed flimsy. So if there was like an earthquake, that thing would have came down like a house of cards. And the walls are so thin, and the people who live next door to me, they had a growing boy who I guess liked to practice WWE moves in the living room, and the it shook the building. It shook the 2-story apartment building. Yeah. So when the big one hits, I'm glad I'm not going to be there. Uh, God bless that kid. Listen, you know, and you want your child to be just active and full of life, but um, yeah,
Maybe
that
go to a
building was not the
park.
place for it. Yeah,
Maybe
go
go
to a
to a park.
park. Go
Yeah.
practice your wrestling moves in a park, kid. So yeah, do you so again, if you're gonna take one thing out of this, wear shoes when you go out, when you leave the house, put on a shoe. Okay? That's all I'm saying. At the beach, if you're at the beach, okay, I get it. Um, if you're at the park and you want to feel the grass underneath your toes, maybe. But if you're walking along a paved street, I'm because you're gonna make me nervous. I'm simultaneously put off by this guy and worried about him. So Tarzan guy, get it together. You are listening to Your Pal Hal. We are coming up on a quarter to one. We got a good 15 minutes here to hang out and have some fun. Oh, and speaking of fun, let's go ahead and move on to a popular fun segment that we've been doing so far. It's called This or That. We're going to do a little this or that with Your Pal Hal. I'm going to give you two things. You tell me which of those things you would prefer. Okay? I'm going to give you two things. You tell me which of those things is up your alley. And you can talk to us by chiming in the chat. Go ahead and oh, my mom says she always saw to it that I wore shoes. Thank you, mother. My mother always put shoes on my feet growing up, whether they were Nikes or Keds or whatever. And you know what? She started something because I'm wearing shoes to this day. Moving on to a little bit of this or that. I'm going to give you two choices. You tell me which of these choices you prefer. And you can tell us in the stream. You can talk to your device, use the word say, and tell us which choice. So use the word say this, or say that, or say it's a Sophie's choice. I just can't. I just cannot with this choice. So let us know. Brian, thank you for joining us. Give you a wave. I'm waving at you, Brian. Thank you for joining the stream. And you can also communicate with us by going to backchannel.tv. Here is your first this or that. And Travis, I would love for you to chime in on these as well. The first this or that, Seinfeld or Friends? Seinfeld or Friends? Okay, so Friends was on Netflix for a while. Seinfeld just came to Netflix. Two of the most beloved shows, two quintessential 90s programs. You just had the huge Friends reunion on HBO Max, and we got to see all of the Friends back together. And Seinfeld, there was never a formal Seinfeld reunion, but we were talking about Curb Your Enthusiasm a little bit earlier. And here is one of my hot takes for the day. One of the best quote unquote reunions of all time was when Seinfeld got back together on Curb Your Enthusiasm. That was chef's kiss, could not have been done better, because it was like you had the characters playing themselves for the show, and then larger than life version of the actual actors. So it was this hybrid reunion episode, and I thought it was just masterfully done. If you haven't seen it, I would highly suggest going back to that season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, where Larry David had the his co-creator of Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld, and the cast on, and they were going to do the Seinfeld reunion, and it more or less fell through. But we got to see it in the narrative arc of the Curb season. It fell through, but we got to enjoy every moment of it, and it was just just a great season of television. So which do you prefer? Are you all about Ross and Rachel? Are you about the monkey, Marcel, Central Perk? Or are you about going to that restaurant where they always met up at Seinfeld? And Newman, Kramer, uh, all of the idiosyncrasies that Seinfeld would explore, which is at two iconic shows. Do you have a preference? Is there a better show? So I know where I am absolutely leaning on this. Uh, let's bring in producer Travis. Travis, do you have any thoughts on Seinfeld versus Friends?
Yeah, my mom was watching Friends when I was young, so I saw more of that in my formative years.
Hmm.
However, just by the nature of time and how my sense of humor developed in my later years when I really dug into Seinfeld for the first time, it's no question. It's a first round knockout. It's funny. It's kind of mean. It's just
Hmm.
more like Friends is good. It's good, but Seinfeld just hits me where I live.
Yeah. And you know who agrees with you on that? My mom. My mom's going Seinfeld.
Fun. My
And
mom also named Deborah. Same spelling.
oh, amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
Great moms think alike. Or something like that. Great moms' parents think alike, I guess, is how that happened.
Yes.
Deborah says Seinfeld. Travis says Seinfeld. Let's make it a clean sweep. I'm saying Seinfeld. Seinfeld is way better than Friends. It's funnier. It's sharper. You connect with it more. Yes, Seinfeld better than Friends. Yeah, I think it's no question at all. But you know what? Listen, Friends, very likable cast, likable show, and absolutely a quintessentially 90s show, very influential show. But yeah, I got to go Seinfeld over Friends. Just funnier, sharper, and yeah, meaner, more acerbic with its wit. And I am absolutely here for that. Okay. Here is one more this or that. This is a tough one. You don't want either of these, but if you had to pick one of these, what would it be? Okay. You don't want either of these, but if you had to pick one of these in this or that in this or that segment, what would it be? Would you rather hit your shin on a coffee table in full stride or step on a Lego in bare feet? We were talking about bare feet earlier. And granted, you want neither, but let's say the aliens come down and point a laser at you and say, you must choose one. Which would it be? Hit shin on coffee table or step on Lego? What are you picking? What are you picking? The Lego in bare feet, which is just a deadly terror? Or, oh, have you been walking through your home in the middle of the night trying to go to the bathroom or the lights are off? You can't find the switch. And, oh, I mean, a coffee table to the shin, that is serious business. If you had to pick one, what would it be? Because that, like, but both of them are just the equivalent of like that Hellraiser, like, or oh, in Dune, Timothy Chalamet had to put his hand in a little box that contained pain. Like that's the stuff that both of these are made out of. This is essentially what my dad would call the different hurt game. All right, my mom is chiming in. She would pick the Lego. Travis, where do you stand on this? The coffee table to the shin or the Lego? Are you with
I
us,
think.
Travis?
Am I?
Uh, Coffee table to the shin or the Lego? Any thoughts, Travis? My mom's going Lego. The,
Am I here?
hmm. You know what? I think I'm going to go Lego too because getting a good whack to the shin, that's pretty bad. I mean, listen, the Lego is just a multi-edged little death piece, but a good whack to the shin is that'll take you down and like put you like out of it for a good moment there. It's like, oh my God, did I break my leg? Oh, I am just going to just curse both of them are going to have you cursing a blue streak. Listen, this question is no fun for anybody. We got to ask the tough questions though. You know what I'm saying? Here on the Backchannel, where you get the tough questions from your pal Hal. I want to thank you for hanging out with me, Hal Rudnick, and producer Travis. Oh, my mom said she stepped on my Legos lots of times, no problem. All right, maybe you just got tough, calloused feet, Mom. Maybe you just got like some powerful feet. But my mom taking the Legos like a champ. The coffee table, that's another story. Travis, hello? Any thoughts? All right, Travis.
No, this or that. Am I
Yes,
here?
yes, yes. Lego or coffee table? Lego or coffee table? I heard leg, and then we lost Travis. But so I think Travis was going Lego. I'm gonna go Lego too. So for the record, we'd rather watch Seinfeld and step on Legos than watch Friends and hit our shin on a coffee table. You heard it here from your pal Hal. I've had so much fun being able to talk to everybody with trivia, trending topics, shows, movie recommendations, box office. This has been such a good time. Before we go, it's that time of the show where we talk about what could have been in a little segment we called Rejected Segments. These are rejected segments that my mom says the doctor said she had powerful feet. Better to step with, mother. This is our segment called Rejected Segments. We're going to go over some of the segments that almost made it into the show, but then thank God we thought better of it and did not include them. And feel free to chime in. Do you wish you could have seen some of these segments? Do you if there's one of these segments where you're like, oh, please do that next time, maybe we'll consider it. But these are rejected segments. Okay, coming up in rejected segments, let's see what we got. Oh, okay. So, in an attempt to make our show potentially more educational, maybe talk about government and the presidents, we thought about doing this segment and then we thought better of it. This segment was Moles and Blemishes of the Presidents. Our rejected segment, Moles and Blemishes of the Presidents. Whether it's a mark on Jimmy Carter or a skin tag on James K. Polk, we would have talked about it on Moles and Blemishes of the President. And apparently, James K. Polk, a lot of skin tags. William Howard Taft, he was a dermatologist's dream. We were going to do a deep dive with photos, photographic evidence, and maybe bring on a guest dermatologist. We had a whole thing planned. It would have been just a good 15, 20-minute deep dive. So, do you wish we did Moles and Blemishes of the Presidents? Maybe when is President's Day? February? Maybe we'll think about it for then. But until then, you will not be seeing. It's a rejected segment. We did not want to talk. We did not want to talk about Dwight D. Eisenhower's turkey neck or any skin tags of any president. And we're moving on from that. Here is another rejected segment. Travis suggested this one. And this is I poo-pooed it right away. This segment would have been called Hal Eats a Stick of Butter. And it literally would have been that. Now that, like, I feel like we're getting into like Jackass territory there. Like that's kind of a stunt. Also, I'm a healthy eater, and like you don't have to say I'm a healthy, like you just like I'm a sane person. I cannot let myself do that. Although, would that have been max entertainment for the folks? Travis really wanted that segment. Hal eats a stick of butter live on air, and I couldn't do it. Listen, I give. I'm a giver. I want to come here. I want to provide information. I want to hang out. I want to be your pal. I want to just have some good chill time with my homies and homegirls and homebros and everybody out there. But I will not be eating an entire stick of butter for you, even though I'll probably be eating the equivalent to that within the food I eat on Thanksgiving. Alex knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, until then, no can do. We are coming up. It's 12:59 here on the West Coast. I got about 1 minute left with you. And it is 3:59 on the East Coast. And it has been such a pleasure. I want to thank everybody who's been hanging out in the chat, people who chimed in, people who did not chime in. We are going to be here every weekday, 5 days a week, from 11 to 1 on the West Coast, from 2 to 4 on the East Coast, hanging out with you on the back channel. And we've got fun programming for you throughout the day to keep you going from the morning to the afternoon on the back channel. So join us, hang out with us, be a part of the chat, be a part of the fun. I want to thank everybody at Backchannel for making this possible. I want to thank producer Travis for keeping us on track and being Johnny on the spot, making the show happen. I want to thank my mom for giving birth to me and hanging out. Love you, Mom. And I hope to talk with you tomorrow. Please join us right here on the back channel. And oh, my mom says so many vegans today, no butter. Yeah, you know what? Shout out to all our vegan friends. Represent. If you're having tofurkey for Thanksgiving, all right, good on you. Good on you. Do your thing. Everybody out there, keep doing your thing. Thanks for listening. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye bye.